Just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Focus upon me. Did it know it did, see it did, choose it. Hello, welcome. I'm Marlise Yearby, and I'm here to host GEMinI, the live stream workings of a 2 year journey that has brought this collaborative team here today. It is the collaborative workings of Jamal Barnes in collaboration with Nyoka Workman and Marvin Dolly. So let's start off by today hearing a little bit of the background of these amazing collaborators. First, I'm going to bring into the studio Marvin Dolly. Marvin, welcome.
Hi, hi.
Doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm great.
Oh,
I'm great.
thank you
I'm
for
great.
joining
Thank you
us.
for having me. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about your history,
Well, I
music, and who you are.
I'm a guitar player, but I also play the bass if you need one.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yes,
Yeah, yeah. I play a mixture of jazz and Afro-Caribbean music mixed together. You know, yeah, and yeah, that's basically my style of music.
yes.
And meeting up, yeah, getting to meet up with Jamal to do this project, I was so excited because it's like a mixture of, you know, different cultures,
Yes.
coming together. And I was like, and hearing the music and all that, I was like, this is what I want to get into.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
He's inspiring you.
yeah,
Beautiful.
very much. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So now I'm going to bring in another cohort of yours, Nyoka Workman. Hi, Nyoka.
Hey, how you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Very, very well.
So, I mean, this is an amazing collaboration. So, talk a little bit about how you came to your music, not necessarily in the collaboration, and how you came to meeting Jamal in stepping into this collaboration musically. What does it mean for you?
First, I want to say thank you. Thank you for having me as part of this interview. It's great to see you, Marlise, and to be part of Jamal's project. Jamal Barnes is incredible. His energy is incredible. His artistry is incredible. So just to be part of the project, I'm excited
Mm,
about it.
yes.
I love working with dancers, as I have worked with you, Marlies, for
Yes,
a
you have
long
a
time.
long time.
Um, I am a composer, a cellist. I play acoustic and electric cello, and I also produce. Um, but I'm so happy to be writing music, playing music, and collaborating with Jamal Barnes.
And I know you've had a long history of music because I know of your music. So it's exciting to see you and Marvin join Jamal. So we're going to now step forward and bring Jamal Barnes on. Jamal, come on in here.
Greetings, greetings, greetings.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. Oh, what a beautiful blessing to be here to talk about your new work with you. So,
Thank
first of
you.
all, tell me why these collaborators? Why Marvin and why Nyoka? And talk
Yes.
with me a little bit about how you came to want to even do GEMinI before I even get up inside of the title GEMinI.
Yes.
Mm,
Well, the universe was brought me these amazing collaborators and artists, and as Nia explained, we had been bumping into each other around in the art circle in New York. It's a very small community here, and when you have amazing talents like Nioka and Marvin, I mean, you just start to um, meld together.
Yeah.
This is a project, the GEMinI. The GEMinI, the title of the GEMinI actually came out of a rehearsal when we had been working for almost 2 years on this project with different adorations of this work. And as we were all sitting around just jiving, and we just get into the studio together and just jam with no objectives and no kind of end goal. You know, we know at some point we want to perform this live. And as we were talking and going through the script, it's just also live music and script and singing and dancing. We were all talking, and I said, GEMinI, duality, talking about one's duality as an artist, one's duality as a person, that we, you know, as an artist, you're living in so many different worlds between your art world and your pedestrian world, or normal world, as we call it, as an artist. And so what does that mean, and how is all these worlds informing each other? And then come to find out, myself and Marvin and the percussionists are all GEMiNIs.
Oh, Lord.
And I was like, so there were multiple energies and spirits in the room. So it just kind of stuck. Yes. Yes.
Well, you know, I have to share with you that both my parents are GEMiNIs. So
oh, wow.
That was my reaction of, oh, Lord.
Yeah, you're surrounded by good people.
And they are fabulous, and they are beautiful. And that is fabulous that it is the great title to talk about duality, because they really do have a duality naturally built into who they are. You can see it, that duality, but we all have it. And artists really do claim that space, don't we? Having to wear those different hats. So
And what I love about Nyoka is that I can just throw anything at her and she's like, oh, come on, let's do it. Let's try this. Let's try that. And that's the wonderful collaborator that you really want, who's just throwing in a lot of things and shaking it up. And what speaks to me is the people in the room.
Yeah.
Whatever they bring, the people in the room, the energy, the love, the challenges, the embracing of bringing art together, and we're just making art.
Yes.
And art already is informed information that then tells the story.
Yes.
So that's what I feed off of.
Well, and it's a really deep listening space, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
and so,
much so.
Nyoka, when you first started working with Jamal on this, and then as time evolved, as his witness, what have you witnessed in his body? What have you witnessed?
Oh my goodness. It's deep and it's a lot. And I always feel that I don't have enough time. There's not enough time to delve into the various areas that I need to delve into to create what we need to create, because it's deep. I felt also, the spiritual belief come up, and then we started playing music to support the chanting, and I started chanting myself. It translated to me over top of the music. We went into Germany, and he gave me some words from Germany, of Jamal's visit and trip to Germany, and that took me into a region, my head region, where I am creating just a soundscape and trying to support that experience that Jamal told me about and gave me words for in Germany. So I'm trying to create music for that. There is another section where he's talking about time. 60 minutes, our birth, our death, very, very deep, where I'm trying to create music for that. So I find myself not having enough time to deal with the wealth of information and the wealth of beauty and experiences to translate into music.
So what Nyoka is referring to, that my story that I tell in this piece is called My Kleine Negerkuss.
My Kleine Negerkuss.
My Kleine Negerkuss, which translates is my little chocolate cake. And so I tell this story in my reaction of hearing that in these African American ears, the word nigga that jumped out. So yes.
To me too.
Yes.
Very strong reaction, but then also a sweetness with the cake. And do you go literal, or do you feel that, and how do you play that?
So you're constantly hearing what he's placing in the room and almost having to allow yourself to enter into the music in response or
Yes.
in harmony or in discourse with it. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Ah, deeply layered, deeply layered. And
'Mein kleiner Negerkussen'. In 1992, while on tour with the Group Motions Dance Company, we went to Berlin, Germany. Well, Berlin was so exciting then. On my one night out, I met Hans. Blonde, delicious, 6'2", with a lovely, large personality. Well, going without saying, that was a place I wanted to be. So, I went back to Philadelphia where I was studying and told my lover at the time that I'm moving to Germany. I packed everything I owned or that I could pack and made the journey. There I was to move in with Hans. But one day, we're sitting in his small European kitchen where he confessed his love. My kleine Negerkussen. Well, I didn't see him that way. I will kill myself. I will kill myself and kill you.
Did the experience of talking about, because I know there were many discussions, because sometimes that space is just about discussing what's coming up and not even getting up and physically embodying it yet. In those discussions of the storytelling, did you find, Nyoka, and I don't know if we have Marvin back yet, but did you find yourselves taking your own journeys with him? Did it bring up your own legacy of how musically you are defining yourself as both artists and as human being? Did these stories trigger something for you in your listening? And did you have to sometimes take a moment because of that? Were things triggered in your own life experience and your own legacies?
You know, I found there was a difference between our starting point and where we landed. Jamal gave us words. He gave us visual ideas. He gave us videos to look at. And once we got in the room and started rehearsing and exploring the music, we ended up in a different place.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
And
we
why did
did.
you end up in a different place? What was that journey about? Marvin, you were about to say something. Talk about that.
Yeah, just being able to play with the rhythms, from what he's dancing to what we are playing was so transcending, it's like different movements back and forth, but still together as one.
Yes.
For me, yeah, I don't know, Nuke and I, we always look at each other and just keep smiling.
Like that
We
inner
just keep
knowing,
smiling.
knowing where
Yeah,
you're going.
because Jamal starts off, he starts building and he starts creating, and it feels like it never wants to end. That's what happens most of the time.
And the story is not linear.
Mhm.
It's most
Yeah,
definitely in this kind of circular continuation. And so I
yeah,
felt myself jiving with these two amazing people and feeling like
yeah,
I did not want to end. I did
Mhm.
not
yeah.
want it to end.
But he
Um,
makes us create even more. Like we started want to create more. We started go into more effect pedals and thinking of all different creative ideas to come up with different parts.
Yeah.
Like if you had to hone into a moment, like Nyoka, I don't know if you heard, because I know you froze for a little while there, but Nyoka was talking about the story from Germany and how much it impacted her and what it did to her listening in the space. Was there something in Jamal's storytelling that jumped out at you that took you on a journey? Marvin.
Um, it took me back home. Where with the dancing and the chanting, most definitely.
Chanting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, when he starts chanting, it
Yeah.
takes me back with Risha and all these different Yoruba, African stuff. It's deep, and it pushes you as to want to create more on your instrument when he starts to even build with that type of vocabulary, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
how powerful repetition is.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah, yeah.
we do a lot of repetition in the creative space, which does make some kind of trance-like feeling.
If you're like you're vibrating on the level of your own story, and at the same time, when that music enters and the chanting and the different bodies, there are
Yeah.
you find that it's the physical body of what you've lived, but also the, for lack of a better term, I'm going to call it the spiritual body that connects energies that are not necessarily lived by you, but yet are dancing with you in this space. As soon as that other entity enters, do you find that instead of the 4 people in the room or the 5 people, you're really dealing with 10?
Yes.
Mm.
Understand where I'm coming from?
Yes. The GEMinI, the
Yes.
duality,
Yeah.
the many souls, the many personalities.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
For real. Yeah.
you, you know, even Marvin, you know, came in and he started going into this reggae groove and feeling. And then I said, Marvin, what are we calling this? Because we started singing and grooving. He said, bow legs.
I
I,
love it.
I said, bow legs. and then I spoke with Jamal later, and I said, you know, he's calling this section bow legs, and it's so crazy. And Jamal said, that. What did you say, Jamal?
I said, that's what they called my mother.
Ha!
That was my mom's nickname. Bow legs.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the spirits were dancing along with you. And isn't that
Yeah.
amazing? Isn't that
Yes.
amazing?
Yes.
And
And I just lost I lost my mother 2 years ago.
Wow.
So it was just most definitely, that was like, I was like, wow, those were those moments. These are these moments that I'm like, okay, the spirits are talking with us.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And you have to take time with that.
Yeah.
That's not something you can rush. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that is the reason why I called Marvin the priest and I brought him in, because he is that guy.
On a whole different plane. Yes.
Yeah.
Pulling the music and pulling the roots at the same time.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Pulling the music and pulling the roots. Wow. That I know that connection when spirit and family and those legacies start talking through, but talk also a little bit about that journey of having so much information that you
Mm,
surfaced well, I might
yes.
add. Yeah,
Mm,
well.
yes. Thank you for that question. In all honesty, I'm still working that out. Um, it is sometimes a battle, an internal battle. For
Mm.
all the information that has been poured in me, I have a repertoire of voices that I can speak through. I
Yes.
have a repertoire of voices that I can speak through. And that is not only in the form of movement, but of life experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. So you're dancing with it. Mhm.
Yes, yes.
And at the same time, bringing new voice.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And living the voice of spirit. So
I'm
now,
hoping.
yeah, I think you are. It sounds like it's
Yes,
been called well based upon your musical collaborators. It sounds like you are doing that and it's
thank you,
there. Yeah.
thank
And
you.
it's a process.
Hopefully, by seeing this story, someone else will find their recognize their power and recognize their accomplishments.
Well, definitely. And through the journey of the body, I mean, so much has been lived. Your life story is long and still growing. So, yes, yes, it has been a privilege as an artist to travel around the world. And at the same time, in the course of those travels, we see things. We see things that spark legacies gone by. But to deny that we've not survived that in an amazing way. And I think that's beautiful that you are bringing attention to that as well. And there's an elegance about you and who you
Thank you,
are. Uh,
thank you.
yeah, there's an elegance
Yes,
about you. You're an
thank you.
ambassador of dance. You're an ambassador as a male person, as a black male person. You are an ambassador. You handled it with grace. Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely noted. Definitely noted. I remember my first time seeing you on stage was when you were um, with Bill T. Jones. And for a hot moment, I thought it
Yes.
was Bill T. Jones. For like a hot moment. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I said, oh, wait a minute. Oh, wow. Yeah. So,
Yes.
but in the ownership of the movement, there was always Jamal, like no other, in anything that I've seen you do. So it's exciting to think that you are going to own the stage as the solo dancer. That's exciting because of your history and the ability you have of listening to the moment and selecting through that moment.
Medium.
Yeah.
So I always try to work in everything that I do with live musicians and or original composition and
And you know,
working
I
very
heard that.
collaboratively.
Yes, you know, I sit right there with you on that. That has been my true love as a creative being is live music and dance coming together. So yes, we need to forge that path back because it has gone away, hasn't it? It's
Yes.
finding its way back, but we really need to make it a priority and not something dependent on whether we receive the funding or not, because the live
Mhm.
music is essential to our root. Yeah,
Yes.
to our
Yes.
root.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
And
celebration.
to be able to work so to, with so many amazing um, Black artists
Yeah,
that are open to that sense of just being and what we do so well as people of color and
yeah.
share our gifts with each other. So, Yes.
Well,
So it's a pleasure to work with Yoka and Marvin. You know, it's
yeah,
just that's been really rich.
definitely. And I know that to be a fact. Do you find that in the music, from the movement place that you're working, do you find that sometimes the music actually gives you the phrase, gives you
Mhm.
the physical moment?
Yeah.
We're constantly giving each other vibrations, I guess, and saying, okay, this is where I want to lead it, or where do you want to lead my body? So opening my body for that vessel of sound.
Yes,
Opening my body for that vessel of sound.
I love that. Open your body for a vessel of sound. I love that. That's beautiful.
Because it's also about giving out, and
Yeah,
hopefully we will be able to have the opportunity to give it to people who come in and see this piece and witness the creation of what we're doing one day.
yeah.
And
It will. It will happen.
yes.
Just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Focus upon me. Day to go, day, see the day, choose.